Guys, UnoPro here, back with another live gameplay. Now, today is August the 1st, which means the season has just reset. I've gone back to 11, I played a few games, got up to 8 or 9, I'm not sure. So I thought I'd do something a little bit different, because we do have 4 new cards in the game, the monthly rewards, and they're actually not too bad. Like, there's a lot of potential in these cards, unlike some of the other months recently. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to do like at least a 2-part video. And what I'm going to do is basically testing some different versions of Kara and how they kind of shape up with these new cards as the meta changes. So the first one I'm going to be testing is just a pretty standard Kara list, but including 2 blistering scorns. Now, at first it seems a little bit anti-synergy, just because Kara often wants to flood the board herself. And it's true, this card is pretty decent against Kara, but it also has some synergy. First of all, it's an opening gambit minion, its weakness is its weak stats, but it chews up a lot of the weaknesses in Kara's matchup. So this is a very tech-based card that you need to kind of make decisions on early whether you're going to be needing it in the matchup. And it also works well when you're behind. Sometimes you can have a bit of a weak early game. So I've seen a lot of Faye lately, and Faye running Jack's True Sight can be a real problem. Even the walls cleans up very, very nicely. And also, so kind of deals with those 2 decks pretty well, which are, 2 of the big counters to Kara. So we put 2 of a card in just to counter our worst matchups and kind of see where it goes. So we'll test this out. Maybe it's 2 counter synergy. Often with Kara, you kind of mold your hand anyway, so it doesn't matter too much if you kind of draw this late. It's a little bit awkward. A lot of the time you kind of have an idea what you're going to be playing anyway. So we'll see how that goes. We'll count how often it's useful, and then I will just preview. I'll give you guys a quick preview. I'm going to do a deck tech in the next part. Going to be testing a late game Kara. Now this is one I haven't actually had time to test yet. We're going to be testing it in the video. And the idea is basically to use these new cards to get a bit more value. So I'm chucking in 2 Chakram. The idea behind this, it kind of shows up a weak early game, and it's got some synergy in Kara. Like, a lot of decks don't really just want to be playing 3 mana cards late game, whereas Kara, that's kind of what we do. And so the fact that you can't play it on early turns isn't as big of a problem. And you can, play 2 3 mana 6/6s seems pretty good at times. So that's the idea there. And then we're bringing the Dancing Blades back in, Zenrui, and trying out Ruby Rifter as well. So that's just a quick preview of that. I'm not going to go too much into that one, but this is the standard Kara. For the spell package, I'm running 3 Hailstone Prison and 2 Cryogenesis. That's basically it. The more I play with Hailstone Prison, like, it's such a good card. It just gives you the tempo. Like, when you're doing those card draw games, it's really, really good. I've actually been keeping an opening hand a lot just to ensure that I'm ahead on board, and then kind of snowball from there. What else is there to talk about? Snow Chasers instead of the Cloakers. This was just taken off Mizilji, and I find it to be decent. Like, you can kind of just grind people out a little bit more, and Cloak is always a little bit iffy. You don't want to be having those 2/3s like from Cryogenesis, whereas these are pretty fine to get. They kind of help you curve out quite a lot. Anything else? Nothing too much. Double Zenrui. Still a decent amount of Songhai around. Not that much Cassiva and Duelyst around, but it's still pretty good. And when you verse those matchups, it's really nice just to have insurance. I did buy the Mark II Kara skin, which is really, really cool. I really like the look of this thing. At first I wasn't keen on it, just because I saw it and it looked like a little bit blobbish, but actually looking at it, it's really cool. I think it's like some kind of ice armor, and this sword is just fucking massive. Like, it just takes up the whole screen, but it's really cool skin. I really like the Mark II generals. So far I just have Reaver and Kara. I might get some more though. They're pretty sick, and especially once I start playing like tournaments. You want the intimidation factor, I guess. I don't know. They're pretty cool. Maybe I'll get the Argon one. I don't know about Cassiva. We'll see how good Cassiva is. I do want to get generals that are I play that are good. Alright, Magmar. So, Magmar has always been one of the harder matchups for Kara, but definitely very winnable. I think Tigers are pretty key here. But we will see. It's definitely getting a little bit harder because Blistering Scorn is a real card. I queued up the wrong deck. Well, now we're testing the late game deck for this video. I mean, it doesn't matter too much, but I didn't give it a proper deck tech. I'm an idiot. Do we just do this? This was kind of good against Ageti. Maybe we could keep this. And nah, Mag is still like pretty fast. And I definitely have a lot less confidence in this deck list, but we will see how it goes. Like the idea is aspect of the Fox over 3 Hailstones, you know, more value based. You can actually grind people out a lot more, and you don't have to run the mutual card draw, which can be a problem at times. I don't know if Zenru is ever going to be that good in this matchup. It's pretty rarely. You have Elkiar next turn. I'll go double 2. So you can go in the middle, but then you get like a guaranteed kill. It's kind of nice just to have more options against Tageria, I guess. I don't know. This is kind of awkward. Okay, Blazing Scorn is pretty good. But I mean, this was looking like our only play next turn, so what else are we gonna do? Oh, Amplification is actually like really good. This is like a very legitimate deck now with this and Amplification, and even the legendary is pretty good. So I guess we just spell this because it's an instant kill, but what else do we do? Give it Path Sister. I might leave this up for a turn. It's so weak. Everything is so weak. I'll do it next turn. We just gotta avoid some damage, or I don't know. We gotta like get on board. It's a really awkward game. Okay, the fact that he's doing this is probably good for me. Though that's very scary. We can do this, this, and this, and this next turn, so that's not bad. Is that just gonna be the play? Let's get rid of Cryo. Need to draw minions now, that's good. I'll do it this way so we can play around Frenzy, because Mekanto is live next turn. The other way I could have done it was like playing it here and run back, but it doesn't matter too much. I think this is slightly better. So we do need to play around Mekanto, but I mean this isn't doing much. He's definitely not got a Mekanto now. I don't know. Don't interact particularly well with artifacts. Well, I mean this could be burst to help me steal the game, but that's very slow. I think it's just too risky. We need to try and create some distance or something. It's so close to being a good draw. I mean, if we did like a play like this, it just gets like destroyed by Mekantor. We just lose to Mekantor, so we kind of have to play Provoke. We could do this, play around Mekantor. Actually, kind of like that. We need to challenge the artifact. Yeah, I think this is better. Saves this. Well, he has to blood one spell, but it's still something. Okay. So now, like, all I wanted to do was better create distance for a turn, and then I have some time to do something. So yeah, now he has to actually give me a space here. Dracon's got weapon now, which sucks. I don't know how good that card's gonna be. We'll see. Let's give it aspect. here. It dies for free, but it's damage. Do this, and run. It's probably fine. We are going to play around with Cantor, at least a bit. Is this better than this? Oh no, this is probably just a little bit more versatile. It's pretty similar. But I mean, he has to answer that. He's low on cards. We have the Tiger. Tigers wins you this matchup. I'll be surprised if you win this game though. I feel like it's gone really badly. The Vath MK2 is pretty cool actually. Apparently the attack animation is really long, but I haven't been paying attention. Okay, is he going to trade here? That card's going to start getting some hate now, I think. I guess we just do both. Do we ever attack face here? Like, we're going to have the provoke. You can't bound a life force. So if we come here, provoke blood here, hit face, we'll be at 8. Mercantor doesn't do it. Mercantor Greater Fortitude does, but he only has 2 cards. I think we go for it. Like, you could argue we could be ahead here, but I don't know. I think it's worth a risk, though. Oh, we died at Eggmorph. Should have thought about this more. Should have gone here. That was bad. I was getting too excited. I didn't even think about Eggmorph. And if I'm not attacking, there's no reason to be here. Am I that far behind that I feel like I need to risk it? No. That's a good roll. I shouldn't have gone there. That was too greedy. Could have considered pinging face, honestly. Okay. Just need to be able to hit him in the face. Alright. Well, we kind of stole that one a little bit. I don't know. I think we played it okay, except for that last turn was a little dodgy. I definitely agree with the play of Elkian there though, and he ended up like going greedy with his general, so we got to dispel it without doing another damage. But with just too much tempo loss to just play the Shroud or something there. Well, I guess we're doing a light game deck now. Should I do a quick? I'll do a quick deck just to show you guys. I mean, I showed you a little bit. So we're running Aspect of the Fox, Hailstone, and Chromatic Cold. So slightly more value orientated removal package. I mean, Hailstone kind of goes against the idea of the deck a little bit, but it's just so good. It's just such a massive tempo swing, and we can kind of grind out anyway. So liking this could definitely be swapped around. Pretty standard, like the 2-drop package. Shield Master. So I cut all the neutral card draw and replaced it with the Ruby Rifter and some high value minions. So that's the kind of idea there. I've been versing a lot of Songha, Aggro Vath, so that kind of works against you sometimes, though it makes our turn 1 plays going second a lot weaker, which is it's a real problem. So maybe I'll do something about that. Maybe Sojourner has a place in the deck, or maybe we just go back to Spelljammers and then think about when we don't play it. Even Blazehound might be a little bit better just because we're running Hailstones. And then the late game, thing. This is nowhere near refined. Whereas the standard list, it's pretty much the best deck in the game, or one of the best decks in the game, just with like scorns and a couple of things moved around. So if you're looking to get a deck solid, probably go for the standard list. So versing Grinch. This is pretty good in the matchup. I think we get rid of one of these. And this. We'll play like value. We'll see how much we can value here. It's the round, so it's pretty slow. I know this could be a tough matchup, but we have 2 removals. I'm probably never getting rid of the removals for Ironcliff. Maybe Ruby Rifter is still a bit slow though. Let's try and get him to keep like a Holograph Keeper. I don't know. Alright. There's no point going to the center here. He is right though. I've actually seen a ton of Mechara today. It's not fun. Look how cool this sword looks though. I really like that. So we actually have like answers to the typical Lionel minions. So Zoran can play some other stuff sometimes. Tiger. Okay, that's pretty fine. Nah, we'll get rid of this. Like, that probably was a Duelyst's turn if he has it, so we don't play it, like we don't save something for it. We can't stop Ironcliff unless we like Hailstone Prison. We'll do this. Probably no reason to attack, is there? This, nah, let's take the Mantile there. I was thinking this can like stop him coming down a little bit and make it awkward, but I don't think we do attack. Oh, yeah, it's a Zoran, we'll attack. Could do that next turn potentially, but then it's gonna be awkward taking damage. So I think the idea will be like this is saved for Ironcliffs most likely, and then this will be like a tempo card. Because you kind of just do have to answer Ironcliffs against Lionel. And so this can stall, but we'll eventually need to answer it. So maybe this could be both, but this needs to go to an Ironcliff, I think, most likely. I don't know, we'll see. If we can set up like a board that can deal with Ironcliff, then it's less of a big deal. Was that an Ironcliff turn? I don't know. Maybe we can afford not to replace here. Because we're not using our Bob-on Spell. I think we definitely need to just do this. It's pretty good value here. Or we can replace after we draw a card anyway. It's fine. Like, just having minions is good, and like we have a very reactive hand, so we can kind of take time to shape our hand. And okay, that's not too bad. It's not the end of the world. He has to take his whole turn to do it. Oh, he's gonna take the. Okay, I thought he was gonna take the 8 there. card. He's really low on cards. Kind of regretting attacking now, but okay. So now we have our Bloodborne spell. We really need to think about how we want to mold our hand, and I don't know if Blood Tier is that card. No, we still just Dancing Blades. We're not going to attack just because he's being aggressive, but I think we could easily justify it just because like Martyrdom is one of his only ways to deal with this. This is really good here, like this awkward kind of thing for Liner has to be Martyrdom, and then we get a bunch of health back, so it's not that bad. We're kind of outvaluing him pretty hard. The Ruby Rifter was actually pretty good, so it's good though, because like when I'm doing these like early season videos, I don't do them very often. I try and get to S rank fast, so because I like kind of committed to the title, S rank gameplay, blah blah blah, at this point, and like at least I'm versing very very good players here, because I'm like obviously I'm going to be versing nearly always S rank people, but it's just good to kind of have. So I think I Hailstone Prison here just because it's really good tempo and get rid of a Fox and try and look to close out the game. Yeah, we'll do that. Okay, so we'll play conservatively. So how are we playing around Immolation here? Running back is probably fine. He's been pretty aggressive. Yeah. Three mana 7/7. Hearthstone memes can't compete with a 3 mana 7/7. It's been pretty good. Like the cards we put in have been performing. I don't know. We'll see how this deck goes. Like it needs more testing, obviously. And I don't think Grinch is particularly playing his best deck at the moment. But they do seem to be showing like a lot of support for Zoran. So what are we worried about here? Like we're not worried about a minion, any minion. Doesn't matter. We could have maybe got the Kit Face. Just because he can't ever kill us. And he probably has to Martyrdom to deal with this board. I mean, that's decent. He gets away from the 5/5. Okay, I mean, I know we have this buff, but it's probably... Wait, do we have lethal? Oh, we have lethal. Yeah. Alright. Alright, so we got 2 games in there. First one looked a little bit challenging, but that one we were pretty much in control of, and our deck is pretty good against the Lionar there. So let's like, I'm probably going to call that the last one there because I'm going to go record a Kara video with the other one, that the deck you guys were meant to see in this video. But maybe we could talk a little bit about lineups, have a think about that. Because if I wanted to take a lineup for a tournament, well, definitely like targeting Argion lineups with this. So how do you make like an Argion? What do you target an Argion lineup with? Like a late game Mag, late game Kara. The third deck can be a little bit hard because Argion's so flexible. Maybe you just run like Lionel yourself with like 3 Grove Keepers and like no Iron Cliffs. Well, you probably still run Iron Cliffs. Like you run like Grove Keepers, like Martyrdom, or like Repulsive Beast line is fine. And like Regalias. Like maybe that's like an anti-Lionel lineup you can make. The Lionel is a very solid deck. And like you could probably go all out on, if you want to go all out on the Lionel player, you could do like Grove Keepers here instead. So maybe that's like an option with this deck. And it could just be like for players who don't want to play more aggressively, I think some kind of variation of this thing could have some potential. Like we only saw a couple games, but but it makes sense. You're still running all the good Kara stuff, but you're basically improving your matchups where you play grindier, or when you don't want to give your opponents draw, because sometimes that is a problem. But yeah, it's interesting. So let me know what you think of these deck, guys. How you think it compares against Kara, and if you think it has any place potentially in the meta. Obviously some variation, but it will probably end up being a little bit better. Maybe you even want Blitzing Scorn in this deck. Alright guys, I want to call that one there. If you want to see more of these kind of videos, make sure to subscribe, and I'll see you next time, guys.